Hello, you guys. I have arrived in New York and I'm just popping in to say hello and to say thank you to all of you who have been liking and subscribing to my channel, who have shared my videos, especially my most recent video. I had a great reaction to my last several videos, actually. So you guys have been amazing and I appreciate all of your words. It helps me to get the energy and feel the confidence to keep moving forward, because as you might imagine, it is very challenging and intimidating to put yourself out on YouTube where literally millions of people could point and laugh at you if they wanted to. But that's not how I'm feeling. You guys have been amazing. So thank you so much for that. If you've not checked out my full moon in Scorpio video, actually the video thumbnail has the wrong date on it. I put May 19th. It really was May 18th. However, I guess in some areas of the world it is still taking place over the 19th as well. But do check that out because it really seems to have hit a chord with people, and it really does seem to be I guess turning out in that similar way. What I'm seeing is a lot of clients and a lot of individuals that I'm dealing with are indeed having to face some shadow aspects of themselves. So if that is where you are, if things are coming up that really are triggering you heavily, then just know that it's a process. So your triggers are usually most intense because they're pointing to something in you that you either don't like or that needs to be brought forward or that needs your attention, right? So they're all pointing into your shadow so that you can look at it and address those issues. So just know that that's an important part of the process to healing, to up-leveling, to upgrading, to integrating, all of that stuff. And it's also important. Oh, if you are not sure why those things are important, if you're maybe in a stage where you're still trying to understand the process, feel free to comment on this video. A lot of people that watch my channel have been going through this a long time and they have a lot of great advice, and I do my best to answer every comment as well. Okay, so thank you for being here. What we're doing today, actually, now that I've just talked for 2.5 minutes about nothing, is we're going to do our weekly energy reading for the upcoming week. Since I happen to have some time today, it's Sunday, it's the first day of the week. So while I expect this to be somewhat similar to what we are experiencing with a full moon, let's give this a shot and see what comes out. So today I'm really feeling the Druidcraft Tarot, so we're going to use that. Oops. First card popped out, and sorry, my setup is also different here. So it's the Ace of Cups. Oh my goodness, the light from the window is crazy. Am I holding this right? Yes. Okay, so it's the Ace of Cups. I'm going to get more information, but that does feel like a new beginning, and it feels to me like that feeling of bliss that I have been feeling. I feel like some of you are going to be able to step into that after clearing a lot of what's coming through with this full moon, okay? The Ace of Cups technically is like a new start in love, a new start in emotional health, and it feels like that. And I usually direct it back to the self, and feel that it's sort of like that baseline, that brand new step one in new love is that profound and deep love of self, where these waters run so deeply in that one most important cup, which is you, that it really feeds and it nourishes all the other possibilities in your life, you know, relationships with friends, with romantic partners, with family, with parents, with children. All of that is fed by the emotional waters that you've collected in your own cup. So if your own cup has been empty, you don't have anything to be given to other people, okay? And so with this coming out, I feel like my feeling is that we have filled that cup, okay? That we're starting the week off in that very positive vibration. Let's see what else wants to come out. My table is set up in a different spot here, so hopefully you're not staring at the top of my head for too long. Get some clarity on that, please. Okay. A whole bunch came out, but the two that stayed on the table are Rebirth, the 20 card, and the 9 of Wands. And so that makes a lot of sense. This is like this sense of just having gone through this shadow work, you know, the raising yourself from the dead, in a sense. And that is Rebirth. I believe this is the Judgment card. Yeah, the 20 card. So, so this is like Judgment and the 9 of Wands. It's that culmination of this cycle, but it is becoming reborn after having reviewed, right, all of the choices that you've made in the past. And just let me just open up to this channeling a little more clearly. There are definitive endings happening now for a lot of people. These are things that have been a long time coming. So do know, I mean, I don't think that any of you out there that might be watching this are unaware of any of these endings that are coming up. Okay, so I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by any of this stuff. So do not fear. But these things have very much been a long time coming. I actually keep getting the sign of the scorpion flashed in front of my head, or in front of my mind's eye. And so I feel that this is a necessary cyclical death of certain things in our lives. And for some people that is actually joyous, you know, that for some people that is about letting go of what's no longer serving us, and it's a much needed breath of fresh air, you know, flow of sacred water, life-giving water. For others, this may be a painful and tiring process of letting go of individuals in your life. A lot of people are removing individuals in their lives because they are not part of this cycle moving forward. And that is, honestly, that is the energy that I'm feeling the strongest right now. And it could be that I'm tapping into a person or people who is really struggling with the pain of detaching from whatever this relationship has been in their lives. I do feel like some people are pulling themselves away from like the overbearing energy of a mother. Some people are pulling themselves away from the extremely overbearing energy of a partner. And these are the things that are coming up the most strongly. I'm feeling a tremendous sense of overwhelm in my heart area. So this, you know, this could literally be coming from someone I know, or this could be coming from a number of you who are really experiencing this in a very potent way. And all I can say is this rebirth process, this process of going through judgment, is the step before this painful cycle completes, and that you begin again and you begin anew, and you're reborn in a new energy of strength and authenticity. Okay, so you're leaving behind all of the stuff that has caused you so much pain up to this point, that it does get better. Okay, I do feel just so much fear and anxiety surrounding the endings that are happening for some of you, not for all of you. That is not something that's happening for me personally. For me personally, everything has been really positive. I'm feeling this need to put out my own energy to kind of support whatever is happening here. And I don't mean giving my energy away, but I just mean holding space, kind of. So if any of you are going through that, just know that I'm holding space for you, me personally, and I think many people out there are holding space for all of those who are going through really difficult cycle endings right now. This always happens. My nose starts to itch. I feel like there's this review of the life at this time, and I think that's coming through with this Judgment card here. That there's this exhaustion, and there are people that are saying, "Why am I doing this? You know, why am I still going down this road? What is it? You know?" Or it's them saying, "Why do I want to change this? You know, what's it going to take? And do I have it in me?" And the answer is you have it in you to do whatever is in your highest and best good, because that's exactly what the universe is supporting. So as you're reviewing your own life and making choices and picking directions, you're going to feel which, you know, you might have some fear, anxiety, etc. associated with changing. All right, guys, I ran out of memory in my iPad, so I apologize about that. So I have to, gonna have to edit this video. But so what I was saying is that what you should know is that things will be better for you on the other side. That once you're through this, as long as you're following your intuition, your guidance, your feelings, as long as it's not fear. Fear is always going to steer you, you know, steer you wrong. As long as you're following that, then you're going to be in a better place as you move forward. So I do feel a lot of fear right now. I feel like a lot of you are in fear. And they're reminding me of the discussion we had the other day about integrating the shadow. And part of that is fear, and recognizing fear and saying, okay, of course I'm afraid. This is terrifying. But then accepting that fear and being okay with yourself as having fear, and understanding that you too are human. And then really, once you get past that fear, once you get into the acceptance of that fear, being able to feel into your true feelings about the situation. And that's the way to get past the fear, is just to first accept it and then to move forward. Okay, so let's see what else is coming out for this week. What other energies are coming up for this week, please? What else should we expect? This week, please. Six of Cups. This is about love. This is about love. This is about nostalgia. This is about really knowing what it is that you love. And I feel like, you know, maybe that's your guiding light. That's your heart light. I'm hearing the words heart light. That's the heart light turned on to guide you to where you truly need to be. You know what I mean? Like, that is in this darkness, in this transition, in this dark night of the soul, if that's where you are with this, all of this going on right now. You want to follow that heart light. See, like, the kids playing, this person, like this guy, like looking out, feeling nostalgic about that innocence, you know. And it's like, what gives you that feeling of joy, contentment, and innocence? Are you in a job right now that makes you feel slimy at the end of the day? Or are you in a relationship right now that feels like inauthentic or fake, or that feels like a sham? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is about the authentic love, you know, and that's love of all kinds. That's not just romantic love. This is authentic love. And what is that? Have you been in a disagreement? I'm just getting this feeling of like having been in a family disagreement with like brothers and sisters or parents or something like that, where it became so petty that you no longer are holding this kind of love, and like it's that desire to get back to that, to bring that back into your life. And that's what we're really being asked to do right now, is to you know, in that case, you would be integrating that feeling of needing to win a competition, right? That feeling of competition, that feeling of wanting to stick it to another person. You're integrating that. You're looking at that as part of yourself as a human being, and sending love to it. within you, so that you can then allow that to release, and you can allow your body to just, your energy to just reabsorb that which is not really authentically you, but is a part of your human experience, if that makes sense. And it allows that to be released so you can move forward. You can be on the other side of it. Metaphorically, we're talking about this rebirth and getting to the other side of this judgment period. And by judgment, I'm speaking of the tarot card, not that you're actually being judged right now. If you're being judged at all, it's by yourself, you know, and it's that judgment, that self-judgment that we're trying to clear. So what is it that you love? What is it that makes you feel happy or whole, joyful, brings you back to a simpler, easier time? I'm just really hearing innocence over and over again, and I'm feeling this feeling of joy in my heart. So that is that guiding light, right? That's the heart light that you're following, and that will get you out of this dark night if you are in that, okay? If you're not in that, then congratulations, you've probably already moved through it, so that's amazing. What advice can we get for navigating this week? That was kind of advice, but let's see what else comes out, okay? What advice can we get for navigating this week? Okay, so the Two of Wands came up, but as this was coming up, what I was actually hearing is that we should be careful about limiting ourselves, like limiting the idea of what we can have, what we can, what we deserve, what we, and I guess it does kind of go along with this card, to be honest, because this is all about like getting back what you put into it, right? And if what you're going to put into it is all this doubt about what kind of level of happiness you can have and deserve, then you're going to get like that half-assed happiness back. So I feel like there's this need to clear the limitations that we're placing on our own happiness, our own ability to manifest joy in our lives. And they keep bringing up joy, 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 joy for whatever reason. Like I'm not even thinking of these words before they're coming out. And so I feel like through all this struggle, we're going through it right now so that we can clear all the blocks to love, all the blocks to joy in your life. So one of those big blocks is going to be our own mental limitations. Like, for instance, okay, so I got a message a couple weeks ago, and this was one of the big shifts that I had a couple weeks ago. And it was that I needed to remove the limitation placed by the label of having been diagnosed with depression at some point in my life, a long time ago. And that is just a word. It's just a limitation. Like, it also was a series of roadblocks and blockages that I needed to clear throughout my lifetime, right? Well, I've gotten to a place where those things are no longer valid. That's a different part of my life, and I have moved forward, moved past much, if not all of that by now. So what I was told is that, you know, you continue to label yourself as a person with depression. Of course, you are going to continue your life struggling with these, you know, emotional and mental blockages. And I like had a good ugly cry at that moment, and I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, I'm making this choice. That's no longer a label that applies to me. I'm moving forward in my life in a different way. And that's what I feel like this Two of Wands is about, and that's what I feel like they were channeling to me at the moment that this popped out. And that is just that, you know, we need to be careful about placing limitations on what we have or what we can have, what we deserve, and what is possible. Anything is fucking possible. You know what I mean? Like, all possibilities are possible. I mean, definitely if you go down the rabbit hole like I do and like get all into the weird, which is, you know, totally cool with me. So if you want to keep that 3D life where everything's a fucking struggle and like, you know, people lie and cheat you all the time and they're disingenuous and a marriage is miserable and you know, I don't know, I'm thinking of my parents right now. God help me if they ever see this. Then that's what you're going to get. So it's about changing our mindset, changing the energy we're putting out there. I'm not telling you anything that's like rocket science right now. I'm not telling you anything that I haven't said 85 times before, but focus on that this week. Focus on changing your mindset and changing what you expect for yourself, and that is going to turn everything around for you, okay? Let me see. Okay, I'm being drawn to this other deck of cards. I was going to end it there, but let me just see what wants to come out of this deck of cards. These are called the Art of Love Tarot. The Art of Love Tarot. I do feel like a lot of this reading is about relationships this week, but it can be about anything. So I don't know if they want to give us a relationship message or what. Okay, this is a message for divine compliments. They're saying, because I haven't done that in a while, they're saying people are wondering, wanting an update. And that this is regarding the full moon as well as the week following it. Seven of Stars popped out, having faith. That this is like a big part of the process of, they're saying, coming into union with yourself by allowing the removal of these blockages and changing your mindset. It's literally clearing the warehouse of your mind and filling it with different things, okay? Those are the words they're giving me. What else? Like just having faith that the other side of this is beautiful. The other side of this is that Six of Cups, that feeling of joy and like just fitting in. Three of Stars, visions. Three of Stars. And that this is that process of building. This is that process of clearing out that warehouse and filling it with the things that you want to build your foundation on. This is changing your entire mindset. So if you're struggling with this kind of situation, if you are struggling with relationships, or especially like a sort of divine complement type relationship, aka twin flames, aka whatever, I don't know. Honestly, so many people, not so many, but some people come to me thinking they're in that kind of relationship, and it's kind of clear to me that it's not really that. But at the same time, so much of this applies to them as well. Like, who even knows? I'm not even trying to judge them. But so this is really for, I mean, can apply to anything if you don't resonate with those labels. Speaking of letting go of labels and letting go of putting yourself in a box and how it should look, right? This is about changing the foundation that you're building your future on, right? You want to get through to this side, and this is what you want to be building your future on, right? That heart light. Where is your heart taking you? Okay, that has to do with everything in your life, not just relationships. All right, let's get like one or two more cards, whatever wants to come out next before we wrap this up. I am just getting the information that a lot of stuff is happening right now for those particular like ascension based like relationships. Not all of them, but okay, yeah. Five of Trees, limitation. This is exactly the card I got that day. I got this with a card that was labeled depression, and I was like, really? It's just taking all these labels off, all these limitations off of yourself, the way that you perceive your life, the way that you perceive you could move forward. You can have any kind of, essentially any kind of life that you want, as long as you set that intention and you take the steps toward it. It's not all intention, like you have to actually make moves toward it. But once you set that intention and then you start going step by step in the direction that you want to go, you're going to get there. Doesn't mean there won't be some conflict. Doesn't mean there won't be some shit hitting the fan. I mean, that can happen. That's part of the process. That's part of your healing, part of your process. Does it have to be there? No. Like, don't write the story before you do it. You know what I mean? Don't write the story before you play it out necessarily. You might want to put the end goal there and project, you know, the positivity of, and that feeling of joy, sending that heart light out, right? So that you know where you want to be. But all the steps in between, don't be like, oh man, this is going to be so hard. It's going to be awful. There's going to be so many fights, but I'm going to get through it and get to the end. You don't even need to project those fights. It can be as easy or as hard as you want it to be, right? So, with the exception, like if you have some specific karmic thing going on that you need to clear and it needs to, but for the most part, it can be as easy or as hard as you want it to be. And I feel like that is the big key this week, is clearing those limitations, getting through this, you know, dark night of the soul / transition period, and knowing that it's better on the other side, turning on that heart light, so that you are really connecting in with where you want to be, and you're attracting that thing, that job, that person in as well. And knowing that, like, the universe is infinite. Just meditating on that word of infinity, infinite. There's no end to what you can manifest in your life. Abundance is limitless. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that thought. Thank you so much. If you guys would like to schedule an appointment with me, I'm actually in New York City for the next month until mid-June. So we can do in-person appointments if you're on the East Coast. Anyone else, anywhere else in the world, I do appointments by phone or by Zoom video meetings. And you can schedule those on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com. Okay? I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great week. Bye.